Howdy, howdy. How you doing today? I hope you find yourselves in a good level of comfort zones, as I'm kind of. If you notice, I'm actually, you know what? Let me take off these retainers right now. There we go. Be easier. Sorry if it's a little bit disgusting, but hey, that's the best way that I can talk. You're gonna be asking Juan. You're at a different spot. The background looks different. The lighting is different. Where are you? And you are exactly right. Because I am actually renovating this entire studio. So, the station that I have here right now used to be right behind me. Right where that TV is. If you can see that TV right there, I have it right there. Now I decided to move it towards where my sofa was at. Of course, my sofa is still here. It's just off to my right, which is your left. I do plan to move the sofa behind where the station originally was, and also change out the layout of the entire studio. So basically, adding like a pop filter insulation corner, having like maybe like a little like table, maybe have a guitar rack system, which is what I really want because I don't have a guitar rack system. Um, and other stuff. So yeah, and honestly, I do plan to change the desk either way. This is like a flat base um, office desk that I have, but I do plan to have like a multi-story desk where I can have the interface, the same position where I'm having now, but have the computer a little bit more on top. I would have rack trays that way I can have actual preamps. Having my 18 channel interface connected. I would have a keyboard tray. That way I can have my MIDI controller underneath me without having to manually take the keyboard out, put it on whenever I'm going to track, play, and then put it back to where it was. I can just pull it out from underneath me, and it doesn't take up a lot of space in my actual station, which is really good. So it's a process that I'm still, trying to get at, but hey, it's working out pretty good. So not the best, but hey, it's getting the job done. And I hope the sound's kind of good because right now I'm using a dynamic mic. I'm actually using the Shure Beta 58A. It's actually my dad's personal mic that has been used for many years. I do plan to get the SM7B mic. I think you've already seen in like the previous 2 or 3 episodes of this podcast that I'm using the SM7B for a couple of podcast episodes. But right now, I'm using this beta mic for now. I do hoping to get an actual SM7B because honestly, it's a game changer and whatnot. Anyways, yeah, I mean, what did I did throughout the week? Well, as of time recording, I actually went to go see I actually went to a concert, believe it or not. I went to a concert, a concert tour for the summer called the Summer Worship Nights, hosted by 2 Christian artists named Brandon Lake, and Phil Wickham, along with their special guest opener, Joshua Queen, I believe is what's his name. But yeah, right off the bat, the experience was phenomenal. Full house, the stadium, the stage itself looks incredible. Like, it's huge, it's massive, so much LED stuff going on, and the cross stage, like the platform, is so insane. I remember last year when they were having the tour, um, they had like a cross shaped platform, but this time it's different. They decided to make it bigger, and they hollowed out the interior cross, and they made it a little bit more bulkier. That way it can extend out to more crowd off to the side and more so to the front. And what's really cool is that you can actually have actual people sitting in the center platform. So as Brandon and Phil walk around, you actually see the crowd, in the center, just give high fives, take a selfie, whatever, and yeah, just have an overall great experience. So it was really fun. They got to play some amazing songs, including new songs like "I Know a Name," "So Good," I believe. I think it's an unreleased song. I'm not sure. Um, but just great songs overall. The Spirit of God really moved a lot. My mom was super impressed just by how the nights, how it expressed itself, and also not just like how the artists performed well, but I can definitely feel the room being filled with worshipers, singers who just cried out to God for healing, for miracles, and guys, on the song Gratitude that they sang, people were just going at it. They're just going at it with all their hearts, loud and with hands up high, mouths opening, hearts opening out to the God of creation. And guys, it's incredible. I was actually in pure tears, believe it or not. Like I was, ugh, my goodness. Like it's sometimes you can't describe how good the feeling is. Um, it's my first concert ever going to since the pandemic. I will say, the last concert I ever went to, and you know, before the pandemic was actually a Newsboys concert, which of course, the Newsboys news. I'm not gonna talk about that. Maybe at a different episode. Um, but yeah, pray for Michael Tate. Pray for the band. That was my last concert before the whole pandemic thing shut down. And the reason why I haven't gone to any concerts because, well, they had to require, the 6 feet distancing, the mask, and the COVID testing, whatever, making sure that we are negative instead of positive, um, you know, all the stuff. So it was a little bit too hard for myself and my mom to go to shows, to, entertaining events and whatnot. But, you know, we decided, you know what, just just for the heck of it, let's just go and have fun. Let's just go ahead and worship the Lord. And that's what we did. We went to go to the stadium where they're at my city, at my county, and we went there. And yeah, it was a show that we could not regret at all. We did not regret going to the show because it was a powerful night. Um, every single heart out there was shown fully surrendered, fully open, fully hungry for God's presence to move and to touch lives. And guys, I have here testimonies of people of what they felt like, what they felt, what was their experience in the past nights of the summer worship nights that they're currently at. It's crazy to think that there's just so much stories to tell. And my story is that I get to feel more of the heart of worship, believe it or not. I was so skeptical, believe that maybe I wasn't worshiping right, maybe I wasn't giving all my 100% best of my skills and my talent to God. And once I went to the concert, it really just spoke a lot to me. It really did, because it brought me back to the place where my roots of, the foundations of worship in the spiritual realm, the kingdom, comes back to life. You know what I mean? It brings me back to the roots of having to learn how to worship again, having to learn how to lift God higher with music, with songs, with hymns, songs that comes out from the spirit, that comes out from the heart, that comes out from the word of God. The roots of how God calls us to be worshipers that worships him in spirit and in truth. And there's just a lot to tell. There's a lot to tell, but I can't say enough. That night was a special night, a night that I could not forget. I really love, um, the experience that was there. It probably took about maybe 3 hours, the show, the entire performance show, maybe even more than that. I'm not sure. It started at 7, and we got out like almost like what 11:30 ish. So it was a pretty long night, but a very good one because God was there. The Lord's presence was there. We could feel his move. We could feel his hand. And so many lives were being touched. I felt that in my spirit. I witnessed it with my vision. I've seen and heard and felt people are already being changed and transformed on that night. And it's so incredible. I couldn't thank God for these amazing people who have come prepared with their hearts to just, just give out and just have fun, but to also worship with fellow brothers and sisters, which they don't know. These two don't know, but they know that they're part of a family. They're part of a special kingdom where there's no pain, there's no healing to deal with, there's no sin to deal with, because the Lord took it all away. And we just can't express enough just by saying, God, thank you. We give him glory, we give him honor, we give him all the praise, we give him all the victory, because he deserves it all. And guys, that's the power of worship, not just in music, but the power of worship in prayer, the power of worship in surrenderance, the power of worship in obedience. That's just all worship, not just singing, not just playing a song. It's just having your heart surrendered before God and let him do his work in you. So it's a great experience. Like I said, I love everything, and it's phenomenal. Would I go there again next year if they're ever coming back? Yes, I would. I believe it's totally worth it. Which is, honestly, I'm glad I did get to go, because all the tickets were sold out easily. Oh my goodness. It was sold out. I have a buddy who I've been in friendship with for a couple of years, and I told him, hey, are you going to the summer worship nights? Because my buddy is a huge Brandon Lake fan. He's literally that's basically like a celebrity crush. Think of it that way. He's a fangirl of Brandon Lake. And he's like, no, man, I can't. And I'm like, dang it. Well, you know what? I'm going to tell Brendan I say hi to you, all right? And he's like, bro, shut up. Oh, man. No, but really, these two have really shown what it means to be, fully open to the Lord. These two performers have really shown what it really means to worship, what it really means to surrender, to be surrendered to God, what it means to just take a moment, have a moment of silence, and just let the Spirit do its thing. There are the examples for that, and hey, to God be the glory. They have shown true heart, and they don't take these nights for granted, or to make some money. They do these nights because they believe that miracles and blessings and victories can occur in these summer worship nights. And they believe that many lives can be changed. They don't just go out because they have great songs. They go out because they want to witness what God can do in those nights. They want to do these nights because they want to witness what the Lord has done in each individual, in each fan that comes into those stadiums. With their tickets being bought, they want to witness and they want to hear the testimonies of their fans of what God has done. Gosh. Like I said, there's a lot that I can't really say a lot because it's super good. But yeah, they do that every summer. This is now I think year 3 of the summer worship nights. And it's gone out pretty good, I will say. This is my first ever summer worship nights concert. And just overall concert after the pandemic. And I'll be honest, it was worth it. It was so worth it. So, yeah, that's kind of what I want to talk about, my experience of the summer worship nights. If you have gone to summer worship nights, let me know down below in your experience, in the comments, what was your experience on those nights? What you felt God has spoken to you, or what you felt like God has done to you in those nights that you have been going for these past couple of days. Because I know for me, it brought me back to the roots of worship for me. But let me know what was your experience in the comments below. I would love to hear them out. So, yeah. Anyways, I hope you have an awesome Sunday, like always. And I hope to see you in the next episode. Peace out. God bless. Shine your light because He's the light of the world. And yeah, that's all I can say. Take care, guys. God bless.